Welcome to the videocast on forecasting process. The content is prepared by Jitendra Tomar, a corporate trainer and educationist, and the show is designed as JT Design Studio. Let us uncover the details.
Today, we are going to crack the code on business forecasting. And it's not some kind of mysterious art. It's really a simple 5-step process that shows how data, not a crystal ball, is the real key to seeing the future. Have you ever really stopped to wonder about that? How do these huge companies seem to know exactly how much of a product to make or what the market's going to want a year from now? It almost feels like they have some kind of superpower, right? Well, here's the secret. There is no crystal ball. What they actually have is a really disciplined, data-driven process. And it's this powerful method that lets them turn information from the past into a huge strategic advantage for the future.
So let's get right into it. What exactly is business forecasting? And maybe more importantly, why is it such a critical superpower for any business that wants to succeed? Okay, so at its core, forecasting is really just about looking back so you can look forward. It's the whole process of using your historical data, we're talking sales figures, customer behavior, market trends, all of it, to make some really educated predictions about what's coming around the bend. And why is this such a big deal? Well, because a good forecast lets a business be proactive instead of just being reactive. It helps you figure out exactly where to put your money and your people. It shapes your big long-term goals, and honestly, it just helps you make smarter, faster decisions than your competition. That's the edge.
So how do you actually build a forecast that gives it this kind of an edge? Well, the entire thing can be broken down into 5 clear, totally manageable steps. And believe me, getting these 5 steps right is the key to unlocking a really accurate and useful prediction. And here they are. This is the framework. It all starts with defining your purpose. Then you gather your data, select the right method, evaluate how you did, and finally, you monitor your forecast over time. So let's walk through each one of these step by step. All right, let's dive into step 1. Before you even think about looking at a single number, you have to know why you're forecasting in the first place. This is, without a doubt, the foundation for everything else that comes after. And here's something really important to remember. Forecasting is not a solo activity. Defining your purpose? Well, that's a strategic conversation. You've got to get everyone on the same page, all aligned on what you're trying to accomplish. And to do that, you need to answer these 3 key questions. First up, clarity. Are we trying to predict next month's sales, or are we looking at 5-year market growth? Be specific. Then, scope. How far out are we looking? A week, a year, a decade? And finally, impact. What big decisions? We're talking hiring, inventory, budgets? Will this forecast actually drive? Okay, so once you know your why, it's time for step 2, gathering the data. This is where the real work starts. Because, and I can't stress this enough, a forecast built on bad data is actually worse than having no forecast at all. I like to think of this stage like you're a detective. You're out there, you're collecting all the evidence, all the clues from the past so you can build a solid case for what's going to happen in the future. It really does take focus and a sharp eye for detail. The main tasks here are pretty straightforward, but they're absolutely critical. You have to collect all the relevant data, analyze it for patterns, things like seasonality or growth trends, and most importantly, you have to clean it. That means fixing errors and making sure everything is consistent and reliable. So now you've got your clean data, it's time to pick your tool for the job. And there really isn't a one-size-fits-all method for forecasting. The right choice completely depends on your data and, of course, on your purpose. So, broadly speaking, you've got 2 main camps. On one side, you have qualitative methods. These rely on human expertise, like surveying your top salespeople about what they think next quarter will look like. They're fantastic when you don't have a lot of historical data, like for a new product launch. Then on the other side, you have quantitative methods, which are purely statistical. They use algorithms to chew through past data and find patterns. That's perfect when you have a long, reliable track record to work with. And this visual illustrates a really critical point. Different models can take the exact same data and give you very different pictures of what the future might hold. The key is to truly understand your data and then pick the method that best fits its story. Right. So this is a crucial point. Creating the forecast is not the finish line, not even close. The best organizations out there, they know that forecasting is a dynamic process that needs constant attention. You really can't just set it and forget it. That's where steps 4 and 5, evaluating and monitoring, come in. They're all about creating this continuous feedback loop, to make your predictions smarter and smarter over time. And this improvement cycle is pretty simple, actually. First, you track how your forecast performed against what actually happened. How close were you? Then, you use that information to adjust your model. And finally, you take those lessons and use them to improve your entire forecasting process for the next time around. And that really sums it up, doesn't it? The whole goal is to create forecasts that stay relevant and just get more accurate with every single cycle. It's this active process of monitoring and improving that transforms forecasting from just a report into a genuinely powerful strategic tool.
So there you have it, the 5 steps to seeing into your business's future. It's a process, right? Define your goal, gather the clues, pick the right tools, and never stop learning. Now that you know the framework, what's the first question you'd want to answer?